Hello, everyone. The full version of the 70th episode had been released almost a week ago, and now we know not only everything that was happening in the series until this crucial moment, but we also witnessed a secret scene that was added by Boom later. We've got just a ton of material to discuss, which I happily did a few videos in the row before this one. So today I'm going to actually speculate on what's most likely to happen in episode 71. Because as you guys know, my predictions are hitting pretty close of right at the spot most of the times. So, in this video, I am going to answer the most anticipated questions. What kind of new location we're about to see in the next episode? Who is this mysterious detective cameraman we saw in the secret Boom scene? What role will Plungerman play in the future of this series? And is his black speakerman bro actually gone for good? To get all the answers to these questions, you gotta put all your business aside for the next dozen of minutes and trust me, because this is gonna be simply awesome. Plus, I saved the juiciest prediction that I have in store for later. So watch this video to the end not to miss it. Now get your tea and snacks ready and let's go. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the possible tone of the future episode. As the last part of episode 70 lasted for 6 minutes straight with a huge amount of action happening in it, and considering that the 70th episode as a whole was one giant explosive thriller, I have some ideas about what the new episode might look like. Usually, when Boom produces a bunch of action-filled episodes in a row, he then takes a little break and grants us a more chill and smooth episode in order to balance the tone of the series. But there is another possibility, though. Skibidi Toilet series is coming to its final round of episodes, and I would say that since episode 66, we're seeing action almost non-stop. And the reason for that may be the fact that we're about to unravel so many mysteries in a pretty short period of time and witness a lot of plot twists and dramatic moments. And those require plenty of action as well. Nevertheless, the second part of episode 70 was focused more on the deeper lore behind the figure of the secret agent. TV men's race, the emergence of Skibidi virus, and the Alliance's technologies. Plus, in the secret scene that was added by Boom in the full version of episode 70, we got to be in the shoes of the new POV. And we turned out to be in a facility that is probably placed within the cameraman's scientific lab we already saw in episode 23 and 49. So, based on those observations, I'd actually suggest the following scenario for the next 71 episode. We're about to start in that exact room that was shown to us in the secret scene added by Boom, and the next episode will be most likely focused on the lore of the series once again. In it, we'll probably get in the shoes of the POV we already saw in the secret scene, or of the detective cameraman himself. And by the way, let's talk about this guy more, because I have a lot of thoughts about his character. First thing first, I find the decision of Boom to introduce such a character in Skibidi series that late pretty interesting. Honestly, I think that it would make more sense if a detective character would appear in the middle of the series, or even earlier alongside with the legendary mecha scientist. And both of them could have focused on figuring out how to fight the Skibidi toilet threat. Mecha Scientist would concentrate on developing new weapons for the Alliance, and the detective cameraman would be some sort of top-notch investigator who'd analyze the combat patterns of the Alliance's enemies, and would invent new ways of confronting them in terms of combat strategies or something like that. But considering that he appeared closer to the end of the series, I have a really interesting theory about him. We're in such a stage of Skibidi series right now, when only the highest secrets remain untold to us, such as the origin of Skibidi virus, the role of the secret agent aka administrator of the Alpha Hills Labs, and the upcoming threat in a form of ISOTOILET's fraction. So, what if this detective cameraman will be the main guy to investigate those questions, and he'll replace Plungerman for now as the new main character with a special purpose? Because I think that Boom wouldn't highlight this guy so much if he wouldn't meant to appear in the next episode. By the way, I also have some thoughts on the possible origin of this guy. In my analysis of the secret scene, I said that I never saw this guy before. But then you guys gave me some really interesting ideas about the detective cameraman in the comments below my previous video. Some of you mentioned how this detective cameraman has actually reminded you of the investigator from episode 21, who wore a similar dark brown coat and the black gloves. And you know, guys, I found this theory to be pretty smart, considering how at the end of episode 21, G-Man appears and seemingly destroys the whole place with his lasers, which implies that the investigator cameraman could have been injured as well, and then repaired in this exact facility that we have been shown in the secret scene. In that case, I'd suggest the following scenario for him. What if he was repaired a long time ago, and now he's back at this facility, not as a patient anymore, but as the head of a department who's focused on finding more secrets belonging to Skibidi toilets? But there's one detail that bothers me, though. In episode 21, the investigator cameraman's shirt was blue, and in the secret scene, it is quite clear that his shirt is now black, and his coat seems to be changed in terms of design a little bit too. It looks more like a leather jacket now, to be precise, the one that modernized agents of the Alliance could be seen wearing in the beginning of the first part of episode 70. So it is either a completely new character, which I actually suspect the most, or there's another option that makes me kind of excited. And this variant also belongs to you guys, and I noticed how this theory of yours that I'm going to voice is pretty popular. Some of you, my friends, guessed that the detective cameraman can actually be no other than Simp Cameraman. And honestly, I don't really know what clues hinted you guys towards this idea, but in terms of the series plot, it would actually make sense. I was waiting for Simp Cameraman's return for a really long time. And considering how the secret scene basically revealed that cameramen don't really go away even in the most desperate-looking cases, he actually can be back soon. But honestly, I always expected him to return on the Skibidi army's side due to the fact that he was backstabbed by his beloved TV woman in the second part of episode 57, so I really doubt that would leave him untouched. And now, it's time to speak about Plungerman some more, because oh boy, this character just cannot stop surprise me even after seemingly passing away. The more I analyze the dynamics between him and the secret agent, the more possible plot twists I find. Let's get back to the third part of episode 70 once again, and more concrete, to the description of it on YouTube, which had been saying, "This is the end for someone." I realized just now how this description actually implied that only one character presented in this episode was meant to be done for good. And obviously that was Skibidi Scientist, because I don't believe in the slightest that he could have anyhow survived all that crap he went through, and deservingly so, by the way. So this led me to the following questions. Then what truly happened to the Black Speaker Man and Plunger Man? Let's remember the scene of the Black Speaker Man passing away. In there, we can see how half of his body is gone, but his head speaker is still in place though. The only thing is that his robotic guts are basically wretched and turned inside out. We could notice something similar in the blue-shirted big cameraman who was critically injured by Skibidi Kleiner lasers in the second part of episode 68. When the Black Speakerman passes out, the red light on his head speaker turns off, implying that there are no longer any droplets of life in his body. But what if he was not gone forever, but simply shut down? Or maybe he was even turned off by someone else, as if he was just a program tool to use. And that in the right time, he might get activated again, similar to the case I have with Plungerman. Because we know that if the head camera or speaker are still intact with the main body, there is a small chance of surviving for its owner. I mean, Mecha Scientist was literally cut in half by Skibidi with saws in episode 48, which didn't stop him from triumphantly returning in episode 54. So what if the Black Speakerman was also meant to become another invisible agent, similar to the green-suited twins? Because before the fight with Skibidi Scientist, he was turned invisible as well, which I sort of consider to be the secret agent's blessing. But honestly, it's just a speculation from my side at this point, because nothing is really clear with the Black Speakerman's future. But what I am really so much more confident about is the future role of Plungerman. In my previous analysis, I've already said how I consider this guy to be the next Gordon Freeman of Skibidi series, who would get revived by the secret agent aka the Half-Life's G-Man in the sequel of this series. And in this sequel, Plungerman might play the main role once again, and he will be upgraded even more in order to do another task, to confront ISOTOILETs, who will become the new main threat towards the Alliance instead of Skibidi Army. But for now, he might be in a form of one of the invisible cameramen without his material body, who won't be able to reach any living cameraman or the agent of the Alliance. But Plungerman might stubbornly try to reach out to some Alliance's member anyway, with a message appearing on their camera screens, maybe in a form of transmission errors as well. I also think that the most plausible target for him may become no other than Camera Woman, who he was really close with, or his Chad Bro Titan cameraman. Although I'm not sure whether he's able to receive transmissions from the regular cameramen or not. And maybe the detective cameraman will be able to decipher and analyze those mysterious messages, and with this knowledge, he and the rest of the Alliance's scientists will find a way to get in touch with Plungerman and move further in their knowing of the whole lore of the series. And who knows what might actually happen afterwards? What if they'll manage to bring Plungerman back from the other side? Or what if they'll get in contact with the secret agent himself? And of course, then the Alliance will get to fight the new scarier threat, that being ISOTOILETs from space. By the way, what if this invisibility mode will also get studied by the Alliance's scientists when they'll bring Plungerman back? And this will unlock the new ability for them to get invisible as well, which will be the most essential power to fight ISOTOILETs with their ultrasonic speed. Oh man, just thinking of this already makes me excited. And that was all for today. I'll be looking forward to the next episode to see which ones of my predictions will come true. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, hit the like and subscribe button below and be sure to write a comment. And that was me, ISOTOILET. See ya!